All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Just Norm. I am back for another tutorial, and this is a live tutorial today because I normally don't get a chance to do lives that much because time is always limited. It seems like every time I think about doing a live, it's really late at night or early in the morning or something like that. So this is going to be a little different, and I'm trying to make sure I got all these kinks worked out. I thought I had my camera on, but evidently my camera's not on. So I'm just gonna go with no camera right now because I would have to stop the stream in order to exit out of OBS and go right back into it. So sometimes my camera works well and sometimes it doesn't work right. We're in Cakewalk by Bandlab, and if you're not familiar with Cakewalk by Bandlab, you definitely should be. It is a free digital audio workstation software that you can download and use to create any project that your mind can imagine. Today I'm going to work on a new song, and I don't even know what the song is. I'm just going to put together something, and we'll see where it goes from there. I'll talk about some of the things that I'm doing while I'm doing it, and if anybody hops on and they have questions or answers, or well, if you have questions or if you have comments or anything like that, definitely let me know, and then I'll try to address them. I'm going straight to YouTube. Normally I would be using Restream, but I had the wrong title set up from a last live stream that I tried to do. But so let's go with the flow. All right, I'm in Cakewalk by Bandlab, and I'm going to create a track. So I'm going to start off with drums because I've been focusing on recording drums in Cakewalk by Bandlab. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to insert a instrument, and I'm going to use only the sounds that come with Cakewalk by Bandlab. Okay. Not to say that there aren't great sounds that come out. You can buy some sounds. You can buy different templates or anything that you need. You can also get a lot of things free. So, but for today, I'm going to use everything. It will be stock plugins that come with Cakewalk by Bandlab. All right, so the SI drum kit is a really cool kit that you can use. You can change the sounds or samples within it. All right, now that I have this set up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over, and I had a video that talked about this, is where you can find these little patterns. All right, so I'm going to go over here. Let's see if I can find it, see if it's up in here. Okay, and I'm going to go down to, let me slow down because I might have did that too fast if you're watching. Go to media, and then when you click on media, there's a little arrow, pulls down. All right, and then once you have it on media, go to audio library. You might see it here. And you want to go down to all these different tools that you have down here. So you got step sequencer patterns. You got MIDI groove clips, which I also talked about before. And you got some MIDI patterns. So let's use these MIDI groove clips. And these smart loops are really nice. Might pull this over a little bit. Okay. All right. All right, I kind of like that. All right. Okay, I'm gonna take it. Now, when you click on it, sometimes it copies it automatically. So I'm just gonna drag it over. And remember, if I want to extend this, all I gotta do is just click on the end of it while holding down Control. And then I can drag this for as many beats as I want. I don't know. Let's do 16. All right, so yeah, so let's do 16. If I don't like that drum kit, I can always go back to SI drum kit and I can double click and try to find out exactly what kit I want to use. So you click on program up here and it's set on default. There's a few different kits. And then of course you can always change the sounds and you can also change the tuning. Okay. All right, let's get compression on it. Awesome. I like that. First thing I'm gonna do is press save, and I'm gonna name this live beat 001 because I'm gonna start trying to do this a lot more. Just get into the groove of being able to get here and create. Sometimes it's hard for me to just get in and create something really quick like that. So I'm gonna try to get better at doing it. Sometimes it takes a long while, sometimes I can do stuff 15, 20 minutes, and sometimes it may take me a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, a year to finish one song. And that's because I kind of work on one project at a time. I work on multiple projects at a time, but it's like if I can't get one project finished, then I go to another project. By the way, I hope you all are feeling great wherever you are. I'm so grateful to all those that have joined the Just the Normians, which is my community name. I haven't really talked about it much, but I hope you all have been getting value out of the videos dealing with Cakewalk. And like I said, if you ever have questions, feel free to email me, justthenormllc@gmail.com. You can also hit me up on all the social media platforms that I provided. And hopefully you are seeing this well and it's streaming well because I'm not checking it right now. So, well, we'll find out. Okay. All right, so I've got my drum pattern. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and separate this so it's not all on the same track. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this track. Actually, let's do this first. Let's bounce to clips. Where is it at? Okay, actually, I don't have to bounce to clips because I'm tripping. Whew, sometimes I forget. This is not audio. This is data. This is MIDI data. I apologize. It's an early morning for me. Well, it's early afternoon, but I've been up since this morning. I've had 2 basketball games. 2 of my kids have basketball games, and now I got 1 more basketball game to go to later on today. So my brain is not functioning like it should. But oh well. Here we go. So right-click on it and duplicate track. And I'm going to duplicate this. I think I only need 2, maybe. I'll do the events. All right, so it's going to do that. And if I'm correct, let me see something real quick. All right. Okay, I can move it to a step sequence if I want to. All right, I think that should be good. Save that. I'm going to put this as the bass drum. Put this as the snare drum. And put this as the cymbals. I don't think there was there anything? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, so there's no toms or anything like that, so that's good. All right, then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to left click on this. It's gonna bring up the piano roll. And I talked about this in the video before that if you happen to see these velocity notes and you don't really want to see them, you can go up to, I think it's view, notes rather. Go to notes at the top, and then click on show velocity, and that'll take it away. You need velocity if you want to adjust the velocity, but sometimes it like makes it look really confusing when you see all these lines coming up and down. So on here, I want my bass drum to stay. So I don't need this, and I don't need this. And I think that's everything else that's on here, right? Okay. All right. So I should only hear bass drum on that now. Okay. All right, and that's fine. Control S to save that. And I'm gonna go down to the snare drum, and let's go ahead and do the same thing on this. Double click on it. All right, and I'm gonna remove the bass drum from here. Remove the hi-hat. All right, and that should be it. And that should have just snare. Uh-oh. Okay, actually pressed B by accident, and I didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. All right, so got my snare there. Control S, save that. And now I have my hi-hats. Double click. You already know it by now what to do. And basically I'm just clicking on the key. This is C3. Press delete. Click on D. Press delete. And I have the hi-hats there. So now I have separate tracks. Okay. All right. Now, that's cool. If I want to go ahead and mix this, I can do it. I'm not going to worry about any of that right now. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the next instrument. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and create a track group, a track folder, rather. So right-click, insert track folder. All right. Drag it to the top. Well, actually, I'll drag these down first. So highlight these. And then you should see the double-sided arrow. Drag it down to there. And now they are all under that folder. So now I can mute this folder, or I can solo it, or I can do some different things to this folder. I'll minimize it, and then I'll call this drums. All right, it's gonna help me a lot later on when I need to mix things and I just need to turn the drums down by themselves. I can just turn this one thing down. Or the same thing is kind of sending it to a bus as well. All right, let's see, and it's better for organizing it as well. So let's see, drums, and then what do we start with? Guess I'll start with a, guess I'll start with a bass sound, maybe. Let's do bass, SI bass guitar. And hopefully I have this on working right. I have my Impact LX25 made by Nectar. It's a cool little controller. It's only 25 keys, but it gets the job done. And then I've got my big 88 over here if I ever need to do extra stuff. So bass guitar, we got it up here. And let's see what we got here. I'm gonna loop this real quick for a second. Right, change bass sounds. thinking F minor. I don't know why I'm in F minor, but maybe I'm feeling F minor right now. It's like 1 4 2 5. Okay. Maybe I'll do something different. Do I like that? Keep hitting my microphone. Pull it up just a little bit. All right, so it's out the way. I like that. All right, so I'm gonna start with that real quick. All right, stop. Try and loop off. All right, let's record it. Yep. Gotta give myself a counter. Oops, I did that wrong. So if you ever make a mistake and you press Control Z and you didn't mean to do that, press Control Shift Z and it'll redo what you just took away. All right, I need to make sure I put a timer in here. A question that I get asked, that I see, maybe it's in Reddit or maybe it's on here somewhere, is that how do I go about getting this little clicky thing to turn off? Some people have trouble with this. It's called a metronome, and simply you can just go up here to the control bar where the playback is, and if I wanted to play during playback, I put it on, and if I wanted to play during recording, I can put it on. But if I don't want it to play during recording at all or playback, then I can uncheck it. Also, if you click on the little metronome symbol, which is at the bottom, then you can go in, you can change the record count in, and I'm going to do 1 measure. Okay. You can also do beats if you just want to do like a few beats. You can do subdivisions as well. So say for instance, on 1 it's set on quarter notes, but if I want to do half, that would be eighth notes, or if I want to do thirds, it would be triplets, you know, or fourths would be 16th notes, etc. You can change the metronome sounds if you want it to be something different. If you want it to come from a MIDI note, you can do that as well. So I'm going to press apply, close, and then let's do this. All right. Up a little bit. It's okay to mess up. Nope, that wasn't right either. Oops. Playing this with one hand, so and then also I have my microphone right in my way, so I can't really see the keyboard. Normally I have my condenser mic up higher. I could bring this up higher, but I'm using a really cheap Behringer microphone today. So if you notice that my sound is a little different, sorry. Can you explain buses and what they're used for? Mr. Jinx, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, now I'm going to try to, I guess I can't reply on here maybe. I don't know, that's really weird, but okay, well hopefully you can hear me Yeah, I'm trying to type into OBS and I don't have it. For some reason I can't type into it right now. It seems like. All right, so the question about buses and what they're used for. So a bus, I want you to think of a bus as a separate output. So for instance, like this master right here, this is the main master. This is like a bus, kind of. All the sound is being routed to the master. And I know that because if I click on like this SI bass guitar track 4, there's a master output right here. But if I created a bus, and here's my masters down here, normally you'll see a little arrow down here you can click on. So these are all different type of masters or buses, or one for metronome, one for preview. If I wanted to create a stereo bus, say I did that. Now I have a separate bus. Now if I want to, I can run that bass guitar to bus D. Now bus D is set up to still run to the master because the master is my main outs basically. So the buses are great for if you wanted to, say you had 16 voice choir and you know every voice needs reverb. You don't want to go through and add reverb to each individual track because for one, that's a lot of settings to deal with. Second of all, it's going to eat up your memory resources and your computer might even crash if you put that many effects on it. Depends on how big your processor is and how much memory you have. But what I can do is I can bus all of those tracks out to a separate master, if you will, which would be bus D. And then on bus D, I can add whatever effects I want to add. If I want to add reverb or if I want to add pitch shift like Melodyne or dynamics or something like that. And then everything will go to that. You also can create buses for particular parts of your song. So like say, for instance, if I had a verse and on the verse, I knew that the lead vocals needed delay or, or some type of, really wet reverb, then I can add it to a separate bus for that particular track, basically. So depending on how you do it, I mean, it's a bunch of ways you can do it, but buses are always good. But even aside from buses, you also have auxiliary points, which you can do as well. I haven't got to talking about all this stuff because there's so many different things that you can do. But yeah, to answer your question, that's what buses will be used for. So if you were on an analog mixer, normally you would see most mixers come with at least 4 buses. And they may be labeled, they may not be labeled buses. They may be labeled like sub outs or something like that, like a sub output. So which means that you can route, maybe channel 1 and 2 are your vocal mics. You can route those directly to that sub out. And now you can control the volume, from that. So that's another thing that's good for us. So if I ran all of my drums to bus D, now I can just turn down bus D. If drums are too loud overall, I can just bring it down, or if it's not loud enough, I can bring it up. So that's the advantage of using buses. I hope they answer your question. I should be able to type into this, but seems like I can't. Move that out the way. Maybe. Let me see. Double click on it. Oh, okay. All right. That didn't work. All right, we'll just put it right there. Good question, though. Thank you for asking. I love questions. I really love questions, actually. So I'm grateful. Yay, you got a question. That's what we're here for. All right. Mr. Jenks, I don't know how long you were up there. I just happened to look over and saw that question right there. I hope I didn't miss you. I hope you didn't, chime out. Okay, cool, awesome. I'm glad that you were able to answer it. I mean, I'm glad that I was able to answer it. I told you all I'm loopy this morning. I'm very tired and sleepy. And it's probably a good thing you can't see me on camera because then you'll probably be like, oh, what is going on with this guy today? All right, so I'm in my bass drum. My bass guitar, all right? All right, and I think I got it. I promise I won't mess up. And if I mess up, oh well, we're going to go with it. Oh, I messed up, and I'm not gonna go with it. Hey, you know, it's something about making it perfect, and sometimes you gotta do it. You know, you gotta do a part a million times. This is the one advantage of when you're trying to, if you're taking samples that are already put together like loops, and you're just dropping the loops, like I dropped the drums in, it's done already. I don't have to do nothing really with it. Just came. Okay. All right. Well, welcome, Mr. Welcome. I'm glad you just came in, man. Awesome. Awesome. Where you from, Mr. Jinx? All right. I'm gonna stop there. Yeah, Mr. Jinx, where you from? Okay, let's see. All right, I'm gonna copy. Well, I might change it up some. Let's see what it sounds like. Now, I'm trying to figure out whether or not Tampa, Florida. All right. Just, man, I haven't been in Tampa in so long. Just came from Orlando. That was, well, that was a while ago. I love Florida. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, so, you know. Well, at least right now the weather is nice, so that's one thing. Oh, okay, Brooklyn. All right. Brooklyn, stand up. All right, I see you. Cool, cool. I'm trying to think whether or not I'm going to quantize this. Now, I can tell that I messed up something in the beginning. If I wanted to fix that, how can I fix it? Well, there's a few different ways I can fix it. I can go to my events, well, not my events, but my piano roll. All right, and I can find out where I messed up at. So, all right, so there's like a note that's not supposed to be here. And you guessed it, it's just E natural. So let's delete that, because I don't think I'm supposed to have any. And I noticed that this is rushed a little bit. Cool thing that you can do is if you want to, you can do it a few different ways. Like I can go into my notation and I can change the note and figure out exactly what I needed it to be. 1 and 2. Okay, so I'm doing eighth notes, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and boom, bing, boom, boom. Okay, so those are all eighth notes. So I really need this to be an eighth note. But if I knew that it was out of time, and maybe the rest of the notes were fine, but this one note was out of time, I can shift this note. And all you gotta do is just press, if it's set up that way. You might have to go in program, and I don't know if you have to program it that way or not, but it might be set up automatically. If you press the left or the right or up or down keys on your keyboard, you can scoot that note over where you want it. So let me see. Still too early. And you can hear how it's changing. Okay. And you can tell that I'm like, it seems like I'm rushing ahead of the beat. Might be two things. One, it may be that my latency is not adjusted to where I need it to be. I can go up to preferences and check that real quick. If you ever record something and you notice it, it's saying like, you know, you was right on, you nailed the part, but it's still saying like that you was off a little bit. So mine's set right in the middle. If I move it over to fast, it's gonna allow the audio to be more in sync. So it's less late, basically, if that makes sense. If I move it closer to safe, that's gonna allow it to be more good for my resources, my memory resources, making sure that I am not using a lot of memory. So rule of thumb, if you're trying to record parts, try to move it closer to fast. And if you're trying to do mixing and you're trying to add effects, move it all the way to safe. But this is after you are finished with everything. I advise you all, like if you're recording, before you get happy about trying to put on effects and do EQ and all that stuff, don't worry about doing it. Wait until you get all your instruments out the way first. All of your, even your vocals, it might sound like, doo-doo at first. And you might want to get in there and tweak stuff, but don't do it until you get done with everything. That's going to save you so much time. Then you can switch that thing to safe, and that will help you out. All right, let me see. So I got this bass drum. I keep saying bass drum. I got this bass guitar part, and let me go ahead and quantize it. You can press Q on the keyboard, or you can go up to process, right? Process and press quantize. All right. Okay, I'm not swinging this at all for real. What I want to do is I want to figure out what's the lowest resolution that I'm using, all right? The lowest note that I'm using. So in this case, my eighth notes are 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, and my 16th notes are a 1E and a 2E and a 3 and a 4E and a 1E and a 2. So if I know that my bass part is using any 16th notes whatsoever, then I need to quantize the 16th. The change, sometimes you can play around with this. This is one of those things that you just gotta play around with. Okay, let's see something. Okay, I might like that better. Let's press OK. Okay, still got some stuff I need to fix, right? And it's okay. I'm gonna fix it real quick. Now, if you're doing this type of editing, that's fine. But I'm not trying to apply any effects or anything like that. But boom diggle, boom diggle. Is that this note? Yeah. I don't think this note's supposed to be there. So I click on it, delete. Yep. Yep, this note's not supposed to be there either. Okay. I can make this note longer. Just click on it, drag it out. Also notice those was too short. Let's try that. Okay, listen to them time. Yeah, I got something messed up here. Okay. Slide it over some. Okay, so this is too long. Slide this over. Yep, all right. So, cool with that. Now, if I wanted to, like, change this around, and maybe I wanted it to swing a little bit, I could do that as well. But I'm not gonna do that. I like it like this. Okay, still got one note that's not right. I think that's one I fixed before. So I need That's not what I wanted. All right, let's see. Yeah, okay. I knew what I needed, but I was like looking at it for a second. It's a pattern, right? So once you got the pattern down, you know exactly what to do. You can just go ahead and copy it. This is another cool way if you was trying to create drum beats or any type of chords or whatever, you can do it that way as well. I normally don't even really use this, but another way I could have did is I could have went into the notation and let's see, I forgot where it is. There it is, staff view. So I could have looked at the part, and once again, I told you that it starts off, you can see there's eighth notes, 16th, okay, so there's all 16 notes. And if it doesn't look like this, if you see notes tied together or notes tied across the bar line, then something is not right, unless that's what the pattern you was going for. But in this case, everything that I played was straight 16th notes. So yeah, I like that. Close out of that. All right, I've saved it. I might add something else to it, but okay. All right, and then I can take that, copy it. You can copy by pressing Control C and then Control V. Okay, and then that should be the end of that particular phrase. So I'm doing a 16 bar phrase, and then we'll start it over again. Now I'm gonna bounce the clips. All right, that's gonna make it, basically bounce clips is gonna make it one whole track, which is cool as well. Up. You see it, right? Let's Control Z. All right, that's off slightly a little bit. Let's zoom in real quick so we can see exactly where it was supposed to go. Should have been right there. Let's try it now. Okay, all right, that was better. Now, let's bounce the clips. Bounce clips is something that I never really use it sometimes. I mean, it's not something that you really have to use, but I think it's supposed to help with the memory as well. Helps the computer not be thinking about so many different things, so it sees that one part. But yeah, normally I've never really had to use it. I know sometimes when you're using different samples, like if I get a sample from somewhere and I notice that the sample's not quite doing what I needed to do, like maybe it's off or something, or one time you play it is perfect, but then if you stop it and play it again, then it's at a different time or it's moving faster than what it was. And sometimes maybe it's that you need to bounce the clips and then that'll put it right where it needs to be. All right, so name this bass. We haven't really talked about, well, I've talked about it, but not today. I can go ahead and put pictures on these too as well to help identify them better. So I'm on track 1. If you click right here where you see the image at, then you can go down. I can find drums, and I can add a bass drum. I'll just use that one. All right, and it'll change the picture. For some reason, sometimes it's supposed to change it on both of them, but I don't know why it didn't change it on that one. So let's do it there. There we go. Click here. Change this to snare. Let's use that one. Change this to cymbals. hi-hat, really. All right, and then change the bass. Go back. Okay. Now that I have that together, all right, now it looks all nice and neat and stuff, and I can see what parts are which. All right. What instrument should we do next? Okay, Randy Romero sent something, but all right. Hello, Randy. Welcome. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to do a guitar part, but here's the problem, right? Cakewalk doesn't come with any guitars. Well, it does, but it doesn't come with an actual guitar studio instrument. So you can use guitars a few different ways. Let's create another instrument. I think the bouncing to clip, I don't think it changed. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I think it does help the quality. So I think if you do it, definitely do it. What happens is, so what it does, it makes it into one track. So when you, especially when you're dealing with vocals and you got like 25 different clips, all you got 25 different clips on one track. It's like the computer's trying to process like, oh, this track comes in here, this track comes in there, this track comes in there. So when you bounce to clips, it makes it one clip, all right, and then it's just one long track that it can play fluidly. So it definitely use it. I just noticed that until this year, or maybe last year, I don't think I ever used it. Like as many times as I use Cakewalk, and I've been a Cakewalk user since the 90s, basically. And actually before that, because my dad was a Cakewalk user as well. So, but as much as I've used it, you know, all through Sonar, all through the, you know, that series, it's like I never did bounce the clips. But it's just one of those things that, you know, it's extra tools always in the software, but you never know, you know, if you need to use it or not. Like the way I'm doing things right now, you all may not do it that way, and that's okay. You know, everybody learns the way that they're supposed to learn, and everyone has comfortable blah 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 blah. Is comfortable doing it a certain way. So for you, maybe when you start the song, you start off with a guitar track, and you plug up your guitar and you strum until you get what you're looking for. I just started with drums because lately I've been talking about a lot of drums, basically. Randy, let's see, okay. Randy says, when creating drum pattern, is it better to have all the drums in one track or assign all the drums in different tracks for editing? Definitely always assign them to separate tracks, which is, Randy, you might not have been here earlier, but what I did in the beginning is I took a little sample, well, not a sample, but I took a little MIDI clip that was over here. And now I can't even access it. All right. I took this little MIDI clip over in this section. It's called Smart Loops, which is under Media. You should have it. And I just found this little clip. It's called Funk 8's Groove. And I brought it over. And then what I did was I copied it two times. And what I did is I went through into the editor and I just deleted whatever I didn't need in there. So this part's bass drum, this is snare, and this is the hi-hat part of cymbals. So yeah, so thank you all for saying it's such a great channel. You know, you all are great, because without you all, I wouldn't even be doing this, you know. So I thank you for the questions. So yeah, if you're gonna do drums at all, and Randy, I don't know if you checked out, I have a series called 8 Ways to Record drums in Cakewalk, and it's actually what I've been focusing on. Speaking of, I have to put out the last video for the 8th way, but there really is more than 8 ways to record drums in Cakewalk, but it's just something to kind of focus more on that. But yeah, if you're gonna do drum parts, only time I would tell you not to separate the drums is it depends on how you record it. So if you recorded acoustic drums and you only had one mic, Like you just drop the overhead over, which is fine because that's what they used to do all in the Motown era or in the early jazz period. They only would have one mic to put on the drums, you know, because they didn't really have that many tracks. So if you had just one mic for drums and that's all you had, and you were trying to get the acoustic drum feel, then yeah, then you would only have one track. You just have to mix it the best that you can. But if you have multiple tracks, because Cakewalk has unlimited tracks, and then if you have a mixer that has or an interface that has multiple tracks, definitely try to separate those tracks. And then if you're using anything digital, if you're using samples or loops or anything like that, yeah, you have no excuse. You can separate those as much as you want. You can actually go as far as to say, you know, I want to put the bass drum on this track for the verse, but then the bass drum part for the chorus, I want to put it on a separate track because it's going to be mixed a little different. So yeah, you can do a whole lot of things. Okay, came home. Okay. Let's see. So transposing and gain and effects. Also using that. Yeah, transposing. Yeah, I use gain quite a bit when I go up to apply effects on process, and then I do gain, and then also you can transpose. Yeah, another cool thing about transposing is that you can transpose samples as well. I don't know if you all knew that or not, but you can take a melody or that you have and you can transpose it that way as well. Are you going to do a vocal series? Yep. Yeah, I'm focusing on. So I started a cake. Can't even get the word out. Cake-torial series to because I listened to, actually, you know, you was one of the ones that said, you know, do some shorter videos. So, but some people want shorter videos, and I was trying to get more creative with focusing on really getting into Cakewalk. And you can, you know, you all know, you've been in the software, you can take one little simple thing and you can make a bunch of videos about that one simple thing. And that's just how I can't even know what the word I'm looking for, but how precise you can get into explaining something. So I have my longer videos, which are going to give you the general idea of what to use, you know, but for a more specific, like focusing on one particular thing, I'm definitely going to do that. And yes, I'm going to do it for vocals. I actually was considering doing for bass, so I'm going to do bass next. Talk about different, because I'm going to pull up my little, I have a Schecter 5-string, so I'm going to pull up that, talk about recording it versus direct box, or you know using direct box, or should we not use a direct box, or should we use an amp? You know, so we're gonna get into talking about that. There's so many different videos that I want to make, but it's like it's never enough time to do all that. That's why I want to start doing more live so I can answer questions. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate you. About the guitars, I use Aiden CW. It's, yeah, still trying to find the best setting with my jazzy Ibanez guitar. It's more for a rock kind of thing. Really? You use you think your Ibanez is for more of a rock? My dad's got a few. He's got what is it? An Ibanez. What is it? Albacore, I think. He's got a few Ibanez. Ibanez is like his main thing. Yeah, I know you got the SSD. Yeah, you told me about that when you got it. How are you liking it? And then Randy, you got the MT Power drum kit. Okay, cool. Yeah, what I typically do is when it comes to guitar, well, even though I've got a guitar in there, I got a guitar that I bought like 4 years ago. I haven't even plugged it up yet. I plugged it up one time. I still got to go get it set up. I'm gonna take it to a shop here to get it set up and get the bridge lowered and get it, really where I need it to be. Get the action lowered. And guitar is not my main instrument. Bass I play, drums I play, keys I play, vocals I do, but guitar is something that, I get it. But it's cool because, hey, when you're making your own music, who's going to talk about you, what you can and can't do? It's your music, Now, would I go out with the lead guitar and try to do a gig? No, I definitely would not do that. I definitely would not do that at all. So I want to go through each one. So like I want to do guitars, I want to do vocals, I realized that I have a video that's called that deals with mixing vocals, and I was looking at that video the other day. You know, when you put videos out, you don't really look at them for real. Yeah, I mean not the guitar, but the settings in CW. Okay, what's the easiest way to reproduce your tracks for the arrangement process? Okay, a Nefer, hopefully I'm saying that right. Nefer Osar, hopefully. If I said that incorrectly, I apologize. Could you explain to me a little bit more what you mean? What's the easiest way to reproduce your tracks? Do you mean like reduplicate them, like if you recorded them first, but then you want to copy them for the arrangement process? Is that what you mean? I think that's what you mean, but give me a little bit more clarity so I can answer that question if you can, please. And you, Little Music Room, you said, yeah, I mean not the guitar, but the settings in CW. Okay, so I used the oh yeah, the TH8, yeah, TH8, yeah. I've talked about that in the video. That's an amazing plugin. It's an amazing plugin, and you also can use that for bass as well. So I mean, it's got all the different amps, simulators, and things like that. When it comes down to recording guitars, you don't really need to plug up no amp. You can go direct into it, unless it's just certain effects that you're going for, a certain sound you're going for. But most people will plug in bass or guitars. You plug it directly in, and then from there you can put whatever simulator you want on it or add extra effects or things like that. But I think it's just way easier to record that way. So I hate pronouncing people's names because I always feel like I'm gonna mess it up. Okay, Nefer, I think that's right. All right, if you're still on here, ooh, Ibanez, yeah. I'm an Ibanez lover. Okay, I'm an Ibanez lover. I love Ibanez. My dad has about 8 or 9 Ibanez guitars. He got like 16 guitars total. So me and my dad get a chance to perform quite a bit with each other. So that's an amazing thing. About the arrangement, real quick. Even though I haven't finished this song yet. This is a song I just started today, so I don't know what it's going to become, but I just went with the groove, and I'm going to groove on it. If you have your tracks finished, and let's say, I like this is cool, everything is good to go, I can do the arrangement, okay? Arrangement is right here on the left. So what I would say is if you're going to arrange it, try to lay down all of your parts first. So like lay it, if you're trying to like say I got my verse, I got my chorus, I got my bridge. Boom, that's it. That's the whole song. Now I know I have 2 verses and I've got 2 bridges and I have 3 choruses. Okay, then you can take it and arrange it how you want to. The good thing about the arranger tool is once you have your arranger set up, you can, and I'll show you if I'm going to arrange this section. So what you want to do is, let me turn my snap on too as well. Snap is really good if you're doing this, so that way you can get it lined up perfectly. So I'm going to put my, I don't ever know why I remember what this is called. Normally I know what this is called, but I can't remember. But I'm going to put my timer right on, let me change this too as well, on 17th bar. And then I'm going to do is I'm going to go backwards. I haven't even talked about the arranger tool. I got to make a video about that. You're going to go backwards and then highlight, and that's going to make this section 1. All right, so when I go over here, then I can rename this section, and I can say this is going to be the, I don't know, maybe this is the, I don't know, the chorus or whatever. Let's say this is the chorus. If I want to copy that chorus, now that everything is in here, all I got to do is just click on the actual arranger tab or arranger name, and then I can take it, I can move it around, slide it where I want it, or if you're pressing down Control, you can copy it. All right, I said the name right. Awesome. That's what I like to hear. So yeah, so I can take that and copy it where I want it. So like say for instance, I know that my chorus is 16 bars, my verse is 16 bars, then I can bring that over here, and then I can delete this section. That didn't work like I wanted it to. make sure you click it first, and then I can delete that section. And I can go by and I can put my choruses. Sometimes the arranger gets a little tricky because if you, once you have extra parts up here, if you try to copy it, sometimes like say if I had something right here, maybe I had a verse right here, but I wanted to copy the chorus again. Sometimes it'll overwrite what you had, so you got to be careful there. There's some more features for Arranger tool. It's weird. Like I remember when Arranger came out in Cakewalk, I want to say it was like 3 years ago or something like that. I mean, it wasn't even on here at first, and it's like when it came, it's like I still don't even use it as much as I need to, but it does come in handy. So you write the song structure on paper, make one track with guitar, one voice, and start making all the tracks from there. That's a good idea. Yeah. I mean, it's good to know exactly how you want the song to go. But sometimes it doesn't happen like that, like this song right here. I don't know where it's going to go. It might just be just that one part. Songwriting wise, and we're going to get to talking about songwriting. Songwriting wise, as far as production goes, I'm kind of from the old school era where I'm used to there being the verse is different, the bridge is different, the chorus is different, and then there might be a vamp part, and there might be 4 different parts. Musically, they all sound different chord structure, different changes. Every now and then I get to the point where I'm more with the popish tradition. What tradition? It's a new word. Tradition. What's your tradition? Tradition with the regular of making a loop that just keeps looping and looping and looping and looping and looping. The only thing that changes is the vocal parts or the harmony, or maybe you add different layers of instruments, but for the most part, the foundation is the same. The drum beat's the same, the bass is the same, the keys are the same, the vocals are the same. So sometimes I write like that, but I really don't write like that. So I like to change. I like chord changes, so I like stuff changing. I don't know, just that's me personally, but it's all about what works well. Yeah, it's so good to go live, you all. It's like I normally do live sessions with and it's funny, that's actually the name of it, with a online, not service, but online platform called Sessions. Sessions. I think it's, if I'm correct, it's one of the vice presidents or one of the co-CEOs or creators of Pandora started this online entity called Sessions Live some years ago, and it's a really cool platform where you all might even want to check it out, where if you're a performer, you can get on there and perform, and you get what's called digital love, where people will gift you, and then you can take this digital love and it transfers to money, and then you can cash out at certain point in times, but you can get on there and stream as much as you want. So I used to do that a lot, but then I haven't done it in a long time. So I almost finished my first song recording. Woo! It's a Danish one. Awesome. I did not do anything regarding effects to voice. I think I will let somebody else do that. Well, you all know, if you ever need mixing or anything like that, or if you need or if you need consultation, or if you want me to listen to it, and I'm not gonna say I'm giving critique, because I don't give critique. I can't judge anybody on their work because it's your music. But if it's something that you're not quite sure about and you need help with it, definitely reach out to me, because that's what I'm here for. I should start my own series of let's give listening to you all music. And I mean, if you want to do that, that's why I think I sent out a little poll about what should I do next. Should I do reaction videos or things like that? Yeah, the SI strings are really good. And I mean, the good thing about any of these sounds is that you're not stuck with the sounds. You can edit them. Some of them are limited. You can't you can't do can't do everything within the actual tool itself, but you can always apply effects to make it sound different, to shape it differently, and things like that. But yeah, the strings are really good. I'm a very avid string person, so I love string, and I guess it's because I, had to study violin and cello and all that. So I'm like, I try to put that stuff in there as much as I can. Well, let's see what we got so far, because I forgot what the song sound like. All right, let me delete this because that's not supposed to be there, but all right. Uh-oh, I think I deleted my bass part. I sure did. Well, this is why you press Control Z. There it is. All right. I didn't know I'd delete that. All right, let's do. Now, what you can do is, what's a cool thing that you can do is you can do. I can take the bass guitar and I can go to the upper register of the bass guitar and make it sound like a guitar. Made contact with a girl in Denmark. She's a sound. Oh, cool. Sound Diction. I think I will let her give it a go. It's a summer tune. Hopefully out there. Awesome, man. Look, as soon as you drop the song, definitely let me know, because I'm gonna support and try to buy it. Are you gonna put it on? Like distribution for is like Spotify and Apple and all that good stuff? Yes. Credit card. We'll get it though. Okay. I don't know the financial system there in Denmark, but I guess you need a debit card. That's doesn't have to necessarily be a credit card, but like I don't know if like banking wise, you should be able to sign up if you got like a bank account as well. It's a good price. I mean, it's only depending on which one you get. You can get I think there's 3 different levels. You have the just a solo, like you're a solo artist, and you have the dual package, which is you're an artist, but you also can produce another artist or release another artist's music. And then you have the one where you can do unlimited bands that you can have. I think right now I'm with 2 services. I'm with Lander, and I'm also with, and actually I discovered Distrokid later after I had Lander, but Distrokid is what I've been using lately. Oh, you're a DJ. Cool. What where do you DJ at, Nefer? Nefer, where are you? Where are you? Did you tell me where you were from? I forgot. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, where are you from, Nefer? I keep hitting this microphone. I'm so used to using my condenser mic, and I've been using. I switched to this is a cheap Behringer mic. It's like a 3 in a pack. It's like I don't know. It's like $30. You get 3 mics. So I decided to use this one. I normally just keep it over to the side somewhere, but, or if I'm recording videos, no, I haven't used it on a video, but if I'm recording like live and I have my little webcam here, and then I'll have another microphone and my condenser here, and then another microphone over there, but. Okay, yeah, kind of like Herbie his Future Shock. Okay, yeah, well, it's something. So I've tuned up my guitar. And scratching, yeah, I might have to pull in some samples and get some scratching on it. I pulled up my I can turn this master down some maybe. So I pulled up my my bass guitar for my lead guitar part, and I've tuned it up like which is now, so now where I'm in the key of F minor, so now my F is really B on this guitar. So but I was just trying to see if I can get it higher. Then I probably could actually take it up a little bit higher. It's kind of weird, like yeah, I'm going for like a little muted guitar part. It's so weird because now I'm playing B minor on this keyboard. And first you say you're having a problem getting sound out of your VSTs and your DAW with controller. I see the volume meter moving, but no sound. This is what you want to try to check. So first of all, when you go up to edit preferences, make sure that, like, check under devices, and then make sure that you have this enabled. Well, first of all, make sure that you're seeing anything there. You will see Microsoft there. Most, if you know. Hey, Gary, what's going on? Finally, you're here. Finally, I'm here. Okay. All right, I'm sorry. I get a little excited sometimes. So yeah, Nefer, when you go into here, if you see the inputs and outputs that are here, then that's great. If you see the controller that you're using and it's here, that's a good thing. That means that the drivers are there. But normally, sometimes it may come unchecked. So like I'm using the Impact LX25, and then I have the MIDI in, and then I have the output. I'm not worried about using the output, but I guess I have the output coming out of my actual sound itself. But if you have the input, that's the main thing of having the input enabled, then you should get signal. But if you're playing your controller, Trinidad, welcome. Trinidad, stand up. Welcome, welcome, Trinidad. All these places that I've never been before, but I'll go there one day. One day, hopefully. So once you do that and you press apply, it should allow you to record. If you're pressing your controller at all and you're not getting any sound or any signal, Like for instance, when I play my guitar, even if I wasn't hearing anything, I still should see that signal meter moving. So if the signal meter is not moving, then I know that my controller is not connected. Few things that can go wrong with that. One, maybe the drivers are having problems. In that case, uninstall the drivers, reinstall them. Secondly, and this is the obvious one, and make sure that you have your controller on. That's the first thing. Make sure your controller is on. That's the first thing. I've done that several times. I'll be like, oh, this is I forgot to turn it on. And if you do turn your controller on, make sure you turn it on before you had no problem with sound until 2 days ago. Okay, have you updated Cakewalk recently at all? It could be a latest update. Might have problems with it. It'll help too to restart your computer. So restarting your computer might help. Also, make sure that you have your controller turned on before you go into Cakewalk. You have a setup. Ooh, Roland V drums. Pick one of the CW kits and everything sounds good except my bass drum sounds like a cowbell. Can't figure it out. So when you're dealing with Roland, I've got a Roland SPD 20 and an SPD 11, like the Roland percussion pad. When you're dealing with those Roland drums, you will have to find out when you go into edit, you should be able to click on your bass drum, and then you should be able to change the patch or what it's set to. It also could be where you're normally use like a 1/4-inch cable to plug in the bass drum. It could be where that 1/4-inch is plugged into, it's not plugged into the actual bass drum channel. So normally there's a designated channel. Like I know on my SPD 20, there's four outputs rather? The outputs? Yeah, 4 outputs. One is specifically for bass drum, and the other one is for, and then the one on the end is specifically for open hi-hat. Like if I'm playing a sock hi-hat, like open and close, so I can put like a sustain pedal or whatever on it and do my open hi-hats. And then the other 2 are for extensions if I want to do like a snare or another tom. Now you can change, any of them are interchangeable, but it's just that one, they're set up specifically for bass drum. But if you are having problem, change it. Like I would just go through and try to see if you can edit, change the patches, and see if you see any other sounds come. Well, not patches, I mean, but the actual sounds for that particular patch and for that bass drum. So see if that helps out. The manual, you should be able to download the manual online. Normally they give you a manual with it, but I'm not quite sure these days. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes manuals are all online. They don't give you physical manuals anymore. But yeah, see if that works. And if you're still having problems, you might be able to do a factory reset. Hopefully you don't have anything like saved that you really worked tediously on to get like really mixed right, like add certain effects and stuff. But yeah, then you can also just factory reset, and that might fix your problem too as well. Okay, so you had problems until 2 days ago. Yeah. So, I mean, a few things can happen. I would think, well, what happened 2 days ago? 2 days ago, did you? So if you did update Cakewalk by Bandlab, maybe that's what happened. One thing that changed for me on one, and I can't say the recent update because there's a new update that just came out, I guess yesterday. And I got the message, because I haven't put Cakewalk on since, I don't know, it's been 3 days or so. I've been that busy. So, but I pulled it up and it said there was a new update. I haven't updated the new one, so I don't know if that's the same update that you did, and if it might have messed it up. One thing that I noticed that my the trial version of Melodyne that comes with Cakewalk, I haven't. I talked about a video where you can actually take audio and convert it to MIDI, and it seemed like I did some updates to my Cakewalk, I don't know, some months ago, and I actually had to message Cakewalk about this or email them to find out what was going on, because it seems like that plug-in is not working like I wanted to. But it could be that I went into Melodyne, and I was getting ready to purchase Melodyne, and I ended up doing something where I did something and I might have messed it up. So you all, if you can, get a chance, check and see if yours still works. The audio to MIDI conversion, so you can record the audio and then you can copy that to a MIDI track, and then it will convert an audio file into MIDI. Okay, now let me go back to the questions. I'm sorry, I'm like talking and rambling. Okay, so music room, do you also use combinations of drum kit plugins like 2 snares or kicks together in one? Heck yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, layering sounds is what makes everything sound unique and different. So I'll I mean, even, you know, it's the same thing as using like a snare and a clap, or a snare and a snap, or a clap and snap, or 2 snares, one that has more of a tack to it, and one that has more of the umph and depth. So yeah, I mean, it's all about, I mean, it's what you do, you know. Do I always need to use 2 snares? No, not really. I could use the same snare even for this song if I ever finish it. I can use the same song and take this snare, and I can duplicate the snare. And what I can do is I can EQ that snare differently. I can pan them, or I can just level them out, you know, where like one snare, maybe I want it to have more brightness, more snap to it, and then the other one I want it to be more of a, you know, more like one I may want to saturate it in reverb. So I can kind of apply to those. So I still have the attack, but then I have all of this extra reverb. So yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of ways you can do things. One message got retracted. Okay, I guess. What does retracted mean? Does that mean that you was writing a message and you deleted it? I guess, I don't know. I'm still kind of used to. You know, this is the first time I think I've had this many comments on a live chat. Thank you all. I love you all. Let's see. Mr. Jenks, thanks. Yes, all online, and the Roland kit just has a single output. Roland V drums. Let me pull that up real quick. I remember the Roland V drum kit. It's like I feel like I haven't seen that in a while. Let me see what it looks like. Yeah, I used to play on this a long time ago. This was like one of the original Roland Roland Electronic pads that came out. Well, this is a different one. This is probably the newer one, but yeah. So don't you have a brain that comes with it? So your brain should have multiple outputs on it. Like you got, basically the way the brain works on these is that you have individual outputs that go from, okay, TD17VX. All right, is that one of the ones that's on here? Let me see. I'm gonna just type that in. TD17KVX. Let's look at it on Amazon. See, is this the one you have? Yeah. So like on this brain, you should have. Yeah, you should have. You should have an output that goes from. Yeah, you got individual outputs. You know, so yeah, so like the brains normally has an an output for each drum or each cymbal. So you should have, yeah, multiple ones that comes out. So yeah, in that case, then it's got to be that the sound is not set right on that. So I definitely would go through and, you know, if you get it to change from cowbell and it changes to, I don't know, timbali, you know, then at least you know that the sound is changing. So now you just got to figure out, okay, what sound is this supposed to be on? Like, where is the sound? All right. Okay, good. Try Melodyne. It's a month free. Yeah, well, you know what? It's when I installed Cakewalk by Bandlab, I didn't even do like the little trial. You know, it's supposed to be like a little trial thing that comes with it. But I was way past my trial point, and I still was able to use it. Like I said, like I made the video about it. Like I was able to use it then, but it was like then all of a sudden I did one update And I don't know if that messed it up or if it was something I did. Like, you know how you go into certain softwares and you're trying to update them, and then when you try to update them through the actual company, it like puts up a flag and says that, we noticed that you don't really have the software installed anyway. You haven't paid for it anyway. And I don't know if it just said, you know what, make sure his doesn't work anymore. Yeah, stop his software. It shouldn't even be working. So I don't know if that's what happened or not. It might not happen. Like I said, I talked to Cakewalk and they said, they gave me a rollback version that I could have, downgraded to. But I just said, forget it. I'll get Melodyne eventually. Melodyne's not that expensive. You know, I don't really have to use. But I mean, it was really cool to be able to just go in there and like change little pitches or change notes as you need it. That was one of the main reasons I used it for. But I never got a chance to use a plugin for its full potential. But Melodyne versus Auto-Tune. Auto-Tune is great if you just want to have that effect and you want to just go right with it. But Melodyne is if you really want to get in there and do some editing to some vocals, because you can really do a lot of stuff with the vocals. All right. I recorded a hand snap 2 times. One I reversed and put together with the other. It gives a cool effect. Yep, that's actually what I did. I'm going to save this on, and I'll pull up another project. So I did that on another song that I'm working on, which is I took the snare and I reversed it. So there's this song called, and actually this was supposed to be a song that I wrote. It was supposed to be for my anniversary, me and my wife's anniversary, but I couldn't finish it. So I get in the habit of writing these songs for special occasions. Like I've got a song called Mama You So Cool, which is a Mother's Day song. I got a Father's Day song. I don't know if you all heard any of the music, but I got music out. And so I write all of these little things. But this particular song, there's a snare. Where's the snare at? Yeah, like I got a reverse cymbal. And then I got a reverse snare. Yeah, right here. So like you're saying, music room, the same thing that I did there. I just took the snare and reversed it. So okay, and actually I have this for one of the videos that I shot. I gotta finish this song one day. It's almost there. But like I said, yeah, that's an example of those arrangers that I have up here. But yeah, I'll finish it eventually. It used to be easier when everybody was quarantined from COVID. It was easy to just nail songs. Like I could just do a song with no problem. All right, let me see. That's a nice drum kit. Yeah, that's those are from Splice. I'm starting to get sleepy now, as y'all can tell. Starting to get sleepy. I got to go to a basketball game at 4 o'clock. My oldest daughter has her basketball game. So yeah, that's from Splice. I use Splice a lot. I mean, I don't have to use Splice, but in reality, when I get into a bigger house or get into a house where I can have drums set up, I would prefer if I start recording drums live, to be honest. But I'm in an apartment, and while I have the space, I don't even want to deal with the noise complaints that I would receive. Never paid for Melodyne, have kept it updated, and haven't had a problem. Maybe I'm lucky. Yeah, like I said, I never had to pay for an upgrade. It was, but like I said, I got into the system and I was thinking about buying Melodyne, and then I started like clicking on stuff and downloading stuff and trying to, so I said like maybe it installed it, or maybe it like overrode it, or maybe it noticed that I didn't pay for it, or something happened. I don't know. But yeah, if it's still working, great, keep it working. Just, yeah, because I love it. Is there anything like current track like in FL Studio and Cakewalk? Current track. Is there anything like current track? Yeah, I don't even know. And to be honest, you're gonna be mad at me, Gary. I don't even know the first thing about FL Studio. Now I remember Fruity Loops, but I haven't used FL Studio at all. But I could ask my good old friend, because he would know, X.E.L.O. I don't know if you all know him or not, but cool cat. He's another Cakewalk user. Got a nice channel on YouTube, and he's growing, man. But I can reach out to him and ask him a question about that. Yeah, the current track, I don't know exactly what that means. So I'm sorry, I can't help you there. Well, the current track is the track that I'm on right now. I'm on track 19, so that is my current track. That's all I can tell you. Never wear Melodyne. It's easy as a beginner. Yeah, if I send stems, does the receiving part also need Melodyne or plugins, or is it locked within the clip, also within effects? Because she has other DAW. Okay, so the person that you're working with has another DAW. So when you use Melodyne, what I do is that you render it to the track. So I don't have nothing I can use though. And actually, let me see. Do I have an audio on here though? Let's say. Well, let's do something real quick. Let me close out of this. No. Let's create a new track. I guess our track that I was working on, it's gonna be put on the back burner, but it was something I was really just creating for today. Let's see, vocal test. All right, and let's do a. Let me see if I can get this thing working at all. Let's see if I can get it working at all. Oh, I'm on a different track now. Normally I use channel 4 for my microphone, but this microphone I have it in channel 12 because I didn't want to change the settings to my other microphone. So let's see. All right, I'm gonna record something, y'all. Don't be laughing at me now. Yes, I know, no. All right. Yes, well, what do you know? All right. It seemed like my problem with sound didn't happen until I dragged 2 audio samples and two audio tracks. I opened a Cakewalk. In my previous projects, I can still produce sound out of the VSTs. Well, if you're, so you were talking about the controller earlier. No, let me see. Hold on. Make sure I'm getting this right. Okay. So you're talking about the controller. So keep this in mind too as well, that when you audio tracks won't connect to your controller. If you have a MIDI controller, it has to be instruments that you're adding. So, and you can't add audio to an instrument track because it's like a MIDI track. So if I just pulled if I pulled this audio track straight in here, and maybe it was something I downloaded or someone sent me, and I put it right in here. I can't use and I'm pressing my controller now. I'm not going to get any sound out of my controller because my controller only is connected MIDI-wise or USB-wise. So, but if I went to this is a MIDI track. Okay. You said, but the volume. So when you play the audio track, you said, but there's no audio on that. So it has nothing to do with your controller. You're just not getting any audio at all. When you click play, do you get a message that pops up, like that gives you an error? And when you click play, does it like pop up, or because sometimes what'll happen is, and this is like a crazy thing, and I have a video about it, troubleshooting video called "Getting Started Troubleshooting for Cakewalk." That's what it's called. Sometimes if you're not getting any audio, there's a few things that might be wrong. Now, if it's an audio track like this, and like I played it back. Yes, I know. Okay, so I've got audio. I know that for sure. But if I didn't have audio, I have to figure out what the problem is. One, the person that gave me those audio tracks, if I imported them into Cakewalk, I have to figure out what bit rate and what resolution were they at. Are they at 48,000 samples, or are they at 44 samples, 44.1? this audio I'm recording 48, but if I imported something that was in 44, I would get an error, and it's going to tell me that it's not going to work because my Cakewalk is in one resolution, or it's in one sample rate, and then my audio track is in another sample rate. So what I would have to do is it would convert it on here automatically. It does that. But if my X-Air, which is right here, which is my interface that I'm using, if my X-Air is set to 48, no matter what Cakewalk is set at, it's not going to work. So if the audio is set to 44.1, I have to go in here and switch my interface to 44.1. And then I'll be able to, and then I have to, let me slow down. After I set it to 44.1, then I have to save the project, exit out of Cakewalk, and then go right back into Cakewalk and then pull the project back up, and then I should be able to play it. If you still aren't able to play it, but you do see the time moving like that, I know. Okay, so it's moving, you're not getting any errors, but you're not hearing any sound, then I would go down here and check and make sure that this track or the two tracks that you have are set to master, and then make sure that the master track is set to the right output. And then if you look at the master and there are no outputs, then you know all of your problems lie within preferences. So you need to go to devices. If you're using a interface that's ASIO, make sure you have a set. Some interfaces don't work well, even though they are ASIO, so you have to use like maybe ASIO for all, which is kind of what I used to use, but X-Air has its own thing, so you might have to use that. Make sure the input's set right, and make sure the output's set right too as well. Well, output is mainly what you need. So like I've got all of my outputs set, so no matter which way I route this, I'm still gonna get sound, and I know that for a fact. And then my driver settings, make sure the playback time and master is set to your X-Air, and normally, or not X-Air, but I mean whatever your interface is, and make sure that it's set on the right channels for that interface. So if all of this is set and you're still not getting the signal, then I would try something else. I would try say, okay, well, let me create a new track, instrument track or something like that, and see if you can record something. You can use a virtual controller, like insert instrument. I'm just gonna do TTS. And if I can pull up, forget my regular controller, if I can just pull up the virtual controller, and if I can record something with that, then, and I'm getting sound on that, I'm getting sound that way, then I know that I am getting sound. It's just something going on with that audio, or it's something going on with something else, maybe. Or maybe the audio is there, but it's not there. Do you see waves on the audio too when you import it? If you don't see anything but a straight line, then you're not going to hear anything no way. So you got to make sure you see some waves on it. All right, I got to look at the comments again. Okay, so when you open a new project, no sound, but the volume meter's moving. Okay, music room. Thanks. I upgraded from an Elise's kit. Difference is night and day. The mesh pads on the Roland have a great feel. Yeah. Going from Elise's to Roland's is a big jump. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Elise's kits, especially Elise's, the little, they got I can't even remember the name of it, but it's like a little 4 pads, and they have one that's like 6 pads. Like, really nice, cool unit. That's really nice. Let's see. Okay, now, I'm sorry. I'm going all over the place. Music room, let me go back to you real quick. So for that audio where you're talking about using Melodyne, what I normally do, and it's probably not going to work, but say, for instance, this is something I sung and I feel like it was slightly a little out of tune. I'll right-click on it, and I'll go down to region effects, so is what it's called, and then Melodyne, and then create a region effects. Now, you can also use Melodyne as an actual plugin that you put on the tracks, but for the trial version, you can't use it that way. So this is the message that pops up, activated a Melodyne player. So I click on Melodyne player, and it's going to open up another window somewhere, and then after that, I should be able to use it. So here's the notes. But my problem is I used to be able to click on this. And I used to be able to change the notes. But now when I click on it, it's not doing anything. So that's why I know something's not right. So what I might do is uninstall Melodyne and reinstall it. So I might do that. But there's so many great things that you can do on here. But basically what I would do, I would take this note, and let's say I would click on this note, and this note is F sharp. So it's supposed to be F sharp, but I'm slightly a little sharp on it. I'm in between G and F sharp, but I got to figure out, well, what note was I trying to hit? Was I trying to hit G or F sharp? If I was trying to hit G, then all I got to do is just click on it and go bloop, 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 and I can slide it right up to G. And then I can put it 0 cents, like I'm perfectly dead on, which I never do because you don't want to be perfectly in tune because it's kind of weird. Like normally we are in tune, but certain instruments are out of tune. So if that makes sense, like even like your traditional keyboard is the system that it's measured on is not quite in tune, if that makes sense. So, but you want to get it, close to it, maybe negative 7 cents, 5 cents or something like that. Maybe a little sharp, maybe a little flat, but not real flat where you can't actually hear what note you're hitting. All right. What's my favorite synth in Cakewalk? Well, it's kind of crazy. Like some of the synths that used to come with Cakewalk don't come with it anymore. What are some choices of MIDI controllers that work well with Cakewalk? Okay, I'm gonna come to that question, Randy, in one moment. Insert instrument. Let's see. The favorite ones that come with Cakewalk. All right, only the ones that come with Cakewalk, right? I would say I like the SI electric piano. I really love that, and I love the string section. Synth wise, it's weird. Like the Z3 TA that came with the Cakewalk. I don't know if it still does or not. I mean, I know I have it from like old plugins. Rapture Pro used to come with Cakewalk, Sonar edition. Rapture was amazing. What else came with Cakewalk? Dimension Pro. Dimension is like awesome. Like if you're looking for synth sounds, like they had some of the best synth sounds. But yeah, it's like those only come with it anymore. But if you did have Sonar on your computer, you still can like use those. They still work with Cakewalk by Bandlab. They just don't come with it anymore. And you used to get a trial of those versions anyway, so it wasn't the full plug-in. But I think my dad, a few other musicians that I associated with, they also had the full version, so I used to install it on my computer anyway. Out of the ones that are still here that come with it, TTS, like, believe it or not, you can't go wrong with TTS. TTS has some great general MIDI sounds in it. But if you take it and you tweak it and mix it, because you can mix this thing like, you can do some stuff to it. You can edit the parameters of it and, do a lot of different things with it. Okay, now let me go back to these questions again. What are some choices? Okay, so MIDI controllers, I would suggest any MIDI controller pretty much any MIDI controller that I know of works well with Cakewalk. Like I said, I have the Nectar Impact LX25. I got this, it was like $99. And the main reason I wanted to get something that was kind of pocket that I can just put in the book bag and carry it with me, or put it in the bag if I need to go out of town or something like that. You can use Akaya, you can use Artura. There's so many different ones that work great with it. If you just have a regular keyboard, like a little Yamaha, a little Casio or something like that, and it has a USB out on it, a USB host or a device, whichever, you can use that. I've got a little cheap, I got some other more expensive boards, but I have a cheap Yamaha 88 keyboard. It was like $500 when my dad bought it like eons ago. It uses USB. I can plug it straight in and I can record. I got my sustain pedal, and that's if I'm really going for like a piano type feel song. But for like if I'm just doing like some chords here and there, then the 25 key works well. But yeah, I would say, it just comes down to, are you looking for, the pads. You want the little pads so you can play your little percussion pads that come with it. Do you want a certain amount of keys? You know, how many knobs do you want? Do you want knobs to control different things? Once you get a controller, a lot of them are pretty compatible with Cakewalk. You'll normally have an ACT MIDI learner that you can go in here and just like when you go to MIDI devices, control surfaces, like I have this used, and my Impact LX, I don't even have it set up for everything that it can really do. Use a keyboard from 1994. Yeah. I mean, you ain't got to get nothing expensive. Like, you can go to pawn shop, get your little keyboard. As long as it got USB or MIDI on it, you're fine. As long as you have an interface that has MIDI. And if you don't have an interface that has MIDI, then you get something that has USB, you can plug straight into your computer. And then you can go from there. But, like, if you're doing ACT MIDI controller, then I can take this and I can control this, from my controller. But I don't even have it set up. Like, I used to do it like where I had everything set up, but it's like it's too much to be going in and do that. But I have to get it set up again that was when I had my older computer, and then when I rebuilt this new computer, I just never really set this back up. I just use the keys part, and that's all I really need. Okay, can I share a tip? Automate Graylian pitch and keep the format 100%. Okay. Automate Graylian pitch and keep the format 100. Okay. Yeah, that's for Melodyne alternative. Okay. All right, so I have to look into that. But is it gonna have the same exact case? Well, like I said, the only thing I ever do with Melodyne, like I said, is I move notes around. But at one point in time when I was using Melodyne, because Cakewalk Sonar used to have Melodyne, and I think at one point in time it had the full version. And you used to go in there and I can change like the speed of my vibrato. I can change, like I can go, I can do all that type of stuff. I can stretch notes. I can make my note. I can slide into notes. I mean, I can do a whole lot of stuff with it. You can really go in there and manipulate. I've used Melodyne so much, it's kind of crazy because I had to do this project where for Girl Scouts of America, a friend of mine had hired me to take these video clips of different people performing some of the songs that Girl Scouts do, and then I had to put them together, put them in video software, try to match up the audio, and get it to sound like, get your little Zoom kind of window type of performance going on. And it was so crazy because everybody was in a different key when they sung the song. And they sent out like a template for them. They sent out an audio version to listen to, but everybody was in a different key. So what we did was we said, you know what, we're going to just make it harmonies. So I took like all of those parts, and then like 3 or 4 people, I just moved their notes around to what harmony I wanted it to be. And then when I got it together, you couldn't tell that. You just thought they sung that harmony, that 3-part harmony together. Yeah. All right. Let's see. I've got a Korg M50 that's got some awesome patches. Yeah. Korg M50. I love that board too as well. V-Vocal. Yeah. V-Vocal was great on Cakewalk. You guys can also write tips and stuff on the community on Facebook. Yeah, definitely. You all should join the Facebook page. Nobody's on there except for me in Music Room, but we'd love to have some more people. Like, I can post, ideas and post things and talk about life, It's called, what is it called? Why is it that I can't type in here? I wish I could type in here, but it's called the, let me pull it up real quick. I have to make a post about it. Here I am. I'm looking at YouTube. That's how I'm telling you I'm tired. I'm not even looking at Facebook. I'm like, why can't I find anything? I'm on Facebook. That's why. Who knew? Yeah, just a normie musician tips. So you all can join it if you'd like to. I have to invite you all. If you all on Facebook, definitely add me on Facebook. Norman Andre Williams III, or just a norm. You can add me on Facebook that way as well. So. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you got tips, I mean, that's what it's all about. Like I can't be on I'm a learner, okay? That's what I am. When people ask me, "What are you?" I'm a learner. That's what I am. I learn every day, okay? I happen to share what I learn, but I don't know everything. You know, even on Cakewalk, I still don't know everything. And I'm not going to know everything because as soon as I think I learn everything, they're going to put out something new. My only hope is that they don't decide to start making this software a paid version again. Because, boy, paying that $400, well, we used to do that all the time. That's when you get one software and you hope you can use that software for about 15, 20 years because you don't ever want to, don't forget to like, definitely like it, share the broadcast, share the YouTube live. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe. But if you are subscribed to the channel, I'm glad that you all came on. This is what I've been looking for. Like sometimes it's lonely when you're just talking to a camera. The camera doesn't talk back to you. So it's good to talk to people. Even though I can't verbally talk to you all. But at least you all can hear me and I can see your messages. All right, you all, I'm going to go ahead and stop right here because I got to eat something before I go to this game. Love you all. You all be safe wherever you are in the world. And if you chiming in to this and you happen to see this later on, got any questions, tips, leave comments below. Like, subscribe. All right, you all. Be blessed. I'm out.